have to tell you before we even get started, we've had some pretty stiff competition in this time slot for the last couple weeks. Last week we were up against Mitt Romney's acceptance speech, and tonight we're actually up against Barack Obama's big speech, and it's going to have to be like the best speech ever, I think, to get him.
I think they're going to call it the "You People Will Fall for Anything" speech.
So I wanted to start the show with a little thought experiment. What if we had the power to cut in to the live feed? Imagine this. All these people, now it's just as Obama takes the stage. We cut in, and it's us.
Just right? Doing what we were going to do
it's
anyway.
Me, then a picture of you, then a still of Larkin Rose. And we're like, hi, this is a webcam show on the internet. We think that if you go to schoolsucksproject.com, that you will find that this, maybe it's not as important, but has the potential to be a far more valuable experience for you.
Right.
What do you think? How many people do you think would come over from Obama?
I would disagree with the not as important part. By a long shot.
Yeah.
This is way more important than whatever garbage you want to.
I think the feds would be here
see how many
minutes.
people would go over. They'd probably just be impressed that somebody could hijack the signal, and that alone might make them pay attention.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the really fantastic part of all of this. So even though we can't do that, we are at schoolsucksproject.com. Last week, I felt like we were getting, our bandwidth was getting dragged down by people maybe streaming out of Miami. So that might be the case again tonight. If we lose you for any reason, refresh the page at schoolsucksproject.com/live. If that doesn't work, you can check us out at lrn.fm, where there's lots of great live shows and plenty of podcasts playing in a rotation. This is part 3. Tonight we are recording part 3 of our series Logic Saves Lives, which focuses on, yes, logic and logical fallacies. Tonight is the first show that we are really devoting to a specific fallacy, the appeal to authority, or argumentum ad veracundium in Latin. And I think this is an important place to start because, Larkin, it seems to me like this really can open the doors to many, many other fallacies. Like once people are like, okay, yes, I accept this, they're ready to go with all kinds of follow-up fallacies. Like they tend to snowball, you know what I mean?
Right, exactly, because as soon as people accept that it's a valid argument to say, well, somebody really important said this, you can find the most idiotic things imaginable coming out of the mouths of people who are really important. and then people will pile on top of that. They'll fall back on that excuse no matter what actual logic dictates, and they'll fall for anything.
Right. So I want to give people a clear definition, and this comes from the website yourlogicalfallacyis.com, a great website, fun website. They've got a little interactive poster over there that you can check out, and it's probably, I would say they have it distilled down to maybe the 20 most frequently used fallacies, which is very helpful to learn and to use in your conversations with people you might be trying to convince, or if they're making a claim or expressing an opinion or asserting some kind of call to action. It's good to be able to spot these things in real time, but it takes a little practice. So it's good to distill it down to the basics, because if you look at the whole science of logic, it's a little overwhelming at first. Here's the definition. Your logical fallacy is an appeal to authority. If you used the opinion or position of an authority figure or institution of authority in place of an actual argument. It is important to note with this fallacy that authorities in given fields may very well have valid arguments, and that one should not dismiss another's experience and expertise. To form an argument, however, one must defend it on its merits, i.e. know why the person in authority holds that particular position that they do. It is, of course, entirely possible that the opinion of a person or institution in authority is wrong. Therefore, authority, the authority that such person or institution holds does not have any intrinsic bearing upon whether the claims are true or not. So, from there, we are going to talk about this. Now, the appeal to authority has different categories, but tonight we're really going to be focusing on what's called a irrelevant appeal to authority, a type of genetic fallacy, and we're going to do that using Larkin's book, The Most Dangerous Superstition. I actually have a copy of it right here. Just if you're watching on the cam, it looks like this. Yes, I filled it up with Post-its. So we have a lot of notes that we want to go over. But Larkin, I think, you've been at this for well over a decade. I want to start with just a couple